Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. And so we were talking about today's topic, which is centered around how to stay motivated, how not to burn out, how to sit your ass in a chair and do the work, how to organize your time, and all of that good stuff. And we have the answer for you. You're not going to like it.
Nope.
But we have the answer. We have the reason. We have the answer. We're going to tell you what to do. Let me know in the comments, what is it that you struggle with the most? Self-discipline, motivation, feeling burnt out, time management. What is it that you most struggle with? Please put them in the comments. We want to make this as specific as possible. We're going to lead with the gut punch first, and then we'll work backwards.
Yep.
And we see this so much, okay? We see this so much. We see I want it so bad, but I'm not going to invest in myself or my business. We see people who do invest and come into work with us at all levels, okay? Like, make no mistake about it.
Every level.
And we experience this too. So we're not different than you. We've just learned to understand and harness this.
Yes.
You can't work towards something you're deathly afraid of achieving.
Yep.
There it is. And I would say there's not enough internal pressure for you to succeed.
Those two things.
It's two things. Yeah. You need a gun, for lack of you need literally to be backed into a corner, and then you will sit your ass in the chair. You will make the sales. You will do the things.
Yes.
Your ass isn't in a corner enough.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So you can't do something you're deathly afraid of.
Yes.
And there's not enough internal pressure to actually succeed.
Yes. Yes. Those two things.
There it is.
Those two things.
And that's why you can't do things. And that's why you fiddle. And that's why you won't invest. And that's why you consume all the free stuff, because as long as you don't invest, there's an out. And you can say, well, I didn't really know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or even when you do invest and you don't do the work, why? How come some people do and some people don't? It's their opinion about it. It's their belief system about it.
Yes.
It's not the strategies. It's not the tactics. We can put two people and one is afraid of opinions and success and money and all of that. And maybe it's not even that they like low self-worth, high self-worth, whatever. Yep. And this one's like benign to it and they're just going to go do the things.
Yes. Yes. And it's such an interesting study because we see it all the time, even in like the conversations our advisors have with people in the communities who say they want to do this and they say they want this online business. They want to bring their practice online. They want to start from scratch. They want to do X, Y, Z. And so one of the questions that, they get asked over and over is like, where's the proof? Show me proof that other people have done this. And so the advisors are like, yeah, sure. Like, go check it, take your health practice, like this post, this post, this post, this post. And it's so interesting because there's one camp of people who see one person who is successful and they're like, cool, if they can do it, I can do it. They do not have anything special. If that strategy works for them, I can figure it out and make it work for myself because I'm not going to stop. And then there's the other camp of people who look and say, well, it only worked for 300, 400, 500, 600 other people. How many people did it not work for? Am I going to fall into that category? What is it that is going to make me fail? Because clearly, if not every single person in the world is successful with this, I probably won't be either. And it's fear, right? That's the fear of it.
It's the fear of it. And it's this, and we were talking about this internalized pressure. If you, and again, I'm saying this with experience of working with thousands of practitioners and coaches and my own experience. When I'm comfortable, when life is good, when there's money and I don't have that, you think I'm going to go and hustle? Well, I will, but because I'm ambitious, because my current level is not good enough for me.
That's the difference.
And that's my internal motivation. I don't rely on external anything to motivate me.
Yeah.
Zero things externally motivate me. The thing that motivates me is more. How do I do more? How do I have more? But not more things. I'm not a things person. More impact, more knowledge, more growth potential, more leadership, more time,
Yes.
more money, because money equals freedom. And then I can go and have the more experiences, more love, more joy. How can I go hire more people to help me out at home so I don't have to feel resentful? How do I feel more the way that I want to feel? That motivates me every day to hustle and grind. And when you have those internal motivators, that doesn't feel burnt out. The reason you feel burnt out is because you're internally fighting with your fear of all of the things versus your ambition, and they're colliding every single day.
Yep.
Every day.
Sure are. And here's
colliding every single day.
Here's the thing. We're like, this is one of those things. We are just going to be talk fighting the whole time because there's so many things to say. Like so many things. Here's the thing when it comes to this stuff, right? Everybody has a part of their brain, their psyche, their ego that is designed to keep them safe. And staying the same is safe, right? And so part of you, especially if this isn't something that you've worked on, especially if you are not self-aware of these pieces, part of you is designed to hold you in the place you are in and keep you safe, because when you step outside of where you are, there is uncertainty and it is not safe anymore, right? It is not safe. And so if you are not aware of that, I see the excitement, right? If you are not aware of that, you will not know enough to be able to say, thank you, I am grateful for that. And yet I'm going to choose unsafe because I want the bigger thing, right? I want the vision. I want something different. If you just want to stay the same, why would you hustle? You already have it. You
go
just
get a job. Go get a job. You want to stay the same, have a job. Like actually.
And that's okay.
Have a job.
That's okay.
Have a job. Take the pressure off yourself.
Yes.
Take the pressure off. So here's what I want to say about this, okay? This is the secret. So I'm watching the comments and Sarah says, I can't wait for the fear to go away. It never will.
Nope.
Because you have an ego. But here's the secret, you guys. Here's the trick. You have to retrain your mind to understand that fear is part of the gig.
Yes.
It's part of the gig. It is, as Stephen Pressfield would say, it's an indicator that what you are doing is of utter importance to your soul.
Yes.
And therefore, there's no need to be afraid of it. So if we can retrain our minds, which is what I work on every single day, it is safe for me to succeed. It is safe. Oh, hey, ego, it's safe. And so I just filmed a whole video about this. I dressed up as fear. I'm so excited for y'all to see it. Literally, I've been researching this. I understand this side of it. And when we can, the only time that those fears, that nagging voice come is when you somehow, based on your programming, your cultural norms, your expectations, your self-beliefs, where you believe that you are doing something unsafe.
Yes.
That someone else could judge you for, or someone else could comment on, or someone else will tear you down, or you will lose money. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Look at what safe means. Yeah. So if you can literally self-talk your way out of saying, no, this is safe. This is safe. This is why I'm on this planet. This is safe. My message is safe. Me making millions of dollars is safe. Me making more money than anyone I've ever known is safe. Yeah. Me growing an audience. No. It's safe because this is why I was put on this earth. Yes. Right? And you have to change your belief system around what is unsafe and what is actually safe. It is safe for me to be a millionaire. Yes. And you have to, and I like, y'all say it out loud. I want you to feel, can you even say that out loud? Like I challenge you, say out loud right now, it is safe for me to be a millionaire. Can you even say it out loud right now?
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah.
And if you can't, that's a solid indicator that like we have to retrain your psyche that the things that you are deathly afraid of are safe for you.
So good. So if we start there, and then this goes into one of my favorite conversations, which is then the normalization of a new self-image, right? So not only is it safe, it's normal, right? This is just the way that you are. And it dates back, and it's so interesting. Like, it dates back to people having work done on their face, right? Like people having noses fixed and mouths fixed and cleft palates fixed and all of these things. And this insane ability to, once the self-image is changed, completely change the personality and up level and become just completely
weight loss.
Yeah. Like, I'm going back to like the 60s, but like, let's go to current. You guys totally know this
body positivity movement.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to normalize this level of success for yourself, because that's how you can then achieve it. It's safe and it's normal. And now all of a sudden you're making decisions and acting the way you would already.
What if it wasn't normal to make $10,000? Like, what if the norm became we were all millionaires?
Yes.
Like, what if that became the norm? Then how weird would you feel if you weren't a millionaire?
Yeah.
Like, actually.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how weird wouldn't you feel like you needed to level up? And so this actually goes back to sort of, feeling isolated in your business. Go hang out with people who are millionaires, and then you will want to rise to the occasion. Yes. Go hang out with people who have this mindset, because then you will feel completely abnormal that you're thinking so fear-based and so small.
Yes.
You can't work towards something you were deathly afraid of.
You can't. You cannot, because you will not take the actions. You will not do the things, and you will sit at your computer and you will scroll Facebook and you will scroll Instagram.
And you will make graphics, and you will do that instead of spending 3 hours a day in your PMs, talking to people, conversing with them, and on the phone, enrolling people. If you had to pay your bills and you had no financial means to do so, I bet your ass you'd sit in the chair and you'd do the damn work.
Yeah.
But you don't have that pressure. You don't have the internal pressure. You don't have the external pressure. And those that do, guess what happens? They make the sales.
They make the sales because they have no choice.
They have no choice. They have no choice. And they don't want to be afraid of it. They don't want to be afraid, right? No. They want to reframe their brain. Lucia, if you're watching this, can you just like go to town? Because that is like an example of a woman who retrained her brain and came on our coaching call the other day. And she's like, I think I'm going to start charging $15,000. I was like, yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
Right? Yes, please. Give yourself a stinking raise. You cannot work towards something you don't really want and you're deathly afraid of. And that's why you feel burnt out, and that's why you procrastinate and all of that good stuff. Because if it was the flip side, from my perspective, I ignore everything else in my life. Literally the laundry, the food,
all of it,
the children, the whole nine, because this is like the most important thing, and I never feel burnt out by it. It's the rest of the life. It's the other nonsense things that don't really matter to me, that not my children, of course they matter, like the laundry, the cooking, the bills, the mail. Can we just talk about the mail? The mail,
I can't.
It's the time of life, right?
I just don't open it. It just
getting gas, like all of these things.
Nope.
They detract from your purpose. You can't work towards something you're afraid of achieving.
Yes. You just can't. And with all the love and all the respect, people are in this space achieving huge things every day. People are in this space coaching on weight loss, coaching on gut health, coaching on arthritis, coaching on diabetes, coaching on parenting, making $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month. We know this. We see this. They're not doing something magical. They're not magical. They're feeling the fear, doing it anyways, connecting to the reason that they want it so badly, and just taking the steps. It's happening. It could happen for you. There's no reason why it could not, aside from
Well, there is a reason.
Aside from fear and inaction and the inability or non-desire to work through fear and inaction. That's it.
Yeah. And so when you say, I have trouble focusing or I have trouble with self-discipline, there's two things that are really happening here. It is that the resistance with a capital R is very high, and it's showing up as distraction, and it's showing up as an unknowing of what your priorities are. It's showing up as symptoms, right?
Yeah.
If we look at it from like a clinical perspective, your root cause is resistance, fear.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, fear of judgment, fear of you not being able to do it, fear, whatevs, right? So your symptom, your fear manifests as symptoms that look like self-sabotage, that look like, you not prioritizing your time, you not setting boundaries, you not doing the things that you know you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And if you had a client in front of you that you also were looking at and you understood their root cause being whatever, and you understood that their symptoms and whatever their efforts weren't going to lead that, what would you prescribe for them? Your method.
Yep.
Which likely includes some type of addressing of the mindset and the boundaries and all of that stuff. We are no different. Our method just happens to be the 10K online success system.
Yes.
Right? That is our prescription to solve your problem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so when you have these symptoms that look like lack of discipline, lack of organization, all of that, you have choices. You can either invest in the skills, the mentorship, the leadership, the training to fix the root cause, therefore alleviate the symptoms, get rid of the symptoms, or you can choose to stay in pain, just like your clients have.
Yes.
And so when you choose to stay in pain, you will continuously bump up against the same frustrations, and that leads to burnout.
Yes.
And even when you invest, because we see this, the level of overwhelm at the beginning is so high because this is very new.
Yes.
Confronting fear is new for most women.
Yes.
Putting yourself out there and standing in your power is one of the most scariest things.
Yes.
And confronting things that we could ever do.
Yes.
And the world becomes afraid of a woman who stands in her power. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Other women especially,
they don't like
that.
Going to say, especially other women who have not yet stood in their own power and who are too afraid to stand in their power.
Right. And then they knock you down.
Yes.
Right.
Or they try to. They try to knock you down.
Right. And that is standing in your power and claiming success even before proof of concept is one of the most courageous and bravest things you can do. And when you can choose when you can choose bravery and courage every day over overwhelm and fear, you will win.
Yes.
You will win.
Yes.
And it's a choice. Every day it is a choice. It's like every day you choose to like love your children. Like it doesn't just come naturally. Like it's a choice. You choose to move your body. You choose to eat the food. It's the same thing. You have to choose courage. You have to choose bravery. You have to retrain your mind so that your ego quiets down, because whatever it is that you're now doing is safe.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
And if you're not going to do that, you need to be honest with yourself, because I say this all of the time, but there's nothing more heartbreaking to me than women, especially, who say that they want something, so badly and are, willing to do the work and are doing all of the things and not seeing success and beating themselves up for it and thinking that they're less than and thinking that they don't have what it takes, when in reality, they're not making the choice to step out of fear and they're not willing to, which is the predicator for success.
And it's interesting because we could talk about this for hours.
All day.
It's so interesting. So like in the 10K online success system, we have people that say all the time, or even in the OGA, right, which is our next level program after the 10K online success system. And, I'm doing all the things.
Yeah.
And it's this very surface level, effort. And I don't want to say it's not effort, because it is. It's effort. Yep. But there's the line that we know they haven't crossed yet.
Yes.
Which is truly putting themselves out there.
Yes.
Right? It's doing the outreach. It's standing in a place of service. I gave the example the other day, like, if you're here to care, then why aren't you doing outreach? Why aren't you messaging people and being like, hey, you're in my group. How are you?
Real.
Why aren't you spending 3 hours talking to the people that have raised their hand on your email list and, every single day? Why aren't you doing that?
Yep.
And the only reason they can give is they don't like PMs. It makes them feel uncomfortable. Okay, cool. Again, that is a choice, right? That's a choice. That's fear. Yes. You're choosing to stay in comfort, safety.
Yep.
Okay, then don't be upset when you don't get the results that you want. Because everything that needs to happen in order for you to get the results comes outside of your comfort zone. That's the results are the reward for you. Think about it like that. That's why we started the Gold Star program.
Yes.
To reward our clients, because the success, the money, the impact, the influence comes out of you stepping outside of your damn shell. It's the only way that is going to happen. Like, this might seem comfortable for us. It's not.
No, of course not.
Like, I'm going to get off this live and be like, oh shit, did we go too far? Like, vulnerability, like, oh shit,
I still remember the first Facebook Live I did. I sweated through my shirt. I felt like I was going to throw up the entire time. It was terrible. It felt terrible. None of this is easy. And it is not easy to step outside of fear and comfort and all of those things. If it were easy, everybody would do it and everybody would have the life that they say that they want. There is a reason. And it's not because, the skills aren't learnable. It's not because you just aren't born with the magic gene that allows you to be successful. It's because it's challenging, hard, difficult, whatever your word is. And the majority of people aren't willing to go through those feelings to get to the other side. That's it.
And when they're not willing, it looks like brick wall after brick wall, known as my husband doesn't support me. Yes. Now's not the right time. Yep. My mother-in-law's, judging me. I don't have time because my kid's homeschooling, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Yes.
And you don't even have the realization of what's happening.
That feels real.
You don't even have it. Mm-hmm. You don't even have the awareness that you are putting up block after block after block after block. And it actually doesn't have to be that way. Yes. But because you are so in fear, you are not able to stand in your power and sit your ass in the chair and do the work and create the boundaries for yourself and ask for the support that you need and invest in mentorship and coaching and, allocate your children to different neighbors and stuff like that. Pretend you're taking a shower for 90 minutes or a bath and lock the door and triple lock the door because my kids figured out how to open the lock. And go for a drive and say you're going grocery shopping, sit with your car with it running, don't get mad, and work.
Yep.
Wake up at 4 a.m., go to bed at 11,
choices.
But if you're, and again, if you're not going to do that, cool, then alleviate the pressure because that's what leads to burnout.
Yes.
That's what leads to burnout. Yes, it's scary. I promise you won't die. Promise. I promise. I promise you won't die. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So this is, when we hear this, and we have to restrain ourselves most of the time, but
surely
I was like, we're fired up today.
Let's go.
Because quite honestly, I love you all. I'm fucking sick of hearing it. Yeah. I just am. because you do it to yourself. And it's like, please, if you would just trust yourself, if you would just believe and just trust yourself a little bit more than you do right now, you would not feel the angst that you feel. Please, woman, trust yourself. That's what I want to say to you. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself a little bit more today, tomorrow, the next day.
Yep.
And tell everybody else to fuck right off.
Yep. All of them.
And then we won't have to deal with all of the, angst that comes along with fear that shows up as, I don't have time, and I this, and I that, and I'm afraid, and what do I say? And asking 1,000 questions.
Yes. Yes. Trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
And then go learn skills.
Yes.
Because that's all you need.
Trust yourself. Learn skills. Fail until you succeed. Those 3 things.
Yeah.
You will succeed. The people who are successful failed more times than anybody else, but they kept going.
Yes.
Until the one time they didn't fail. That's it.
And then they kept going and failed a lot more to the next level.
And then they didn't fail. And they're like, oh, let's fail again. Let's see how many times we can fail at the next
our way
level.
to making $1 million, shall we?
That's it. That is it. That's the secret.
That's it. And like, yeah, there's time management strategies. Sure. They don't fucking matter. Let's be real. Like,
you'll come up with it yourself. When you do this stuff, you'll figure out the time management. It's not hard.
You'll be happy to sit your ass in a chair and write the emails.
You'll like find secret windows to work that you never even thought of before. Like, oh.
Because everything shifts when you stand in your power and you make the decision for yourself that this is the reason you were put on this planet and that it is safe for you to be successful.
Yes.
All right, that was good. I feel like, woo!
That was good.
I feel like I just like did a little workout.
Yeah, I'm a little sweaty. A little sweaty.
This is coming from a place of belief in you. At this point, we want it more for you than you want it for yourself.
And that will only sustain so far.
Yeah. Please, like save this video that we just did today.
Yes, please.
When you find yourself not doing the things because they're making you feel angsty, you can come back and listen to us yell at you.
Happily.
With love. Have a good day, everybody.